Shakti, your love helps me to rise. There is a stirring in creation, and it's glowing in these eyes.
I think it's really important to create a balance.
Because if you only see God as a masculine force, we lose half of reality, we lose the balance. And the women lose like a role model or like the whole half part of humanity is kind of lost if we don't address to the goddess.
So with the awakening of the feminine in our world, it's helpful to have the goddess.
Yeah, so something to identify with and some force that you can see outside yourself and you can also maybe call upon in yourself as a woman.
Right.
And I think it's important also to understand what exactly is the goddess. And I'm only coming from a yogic perspective, but the goddess actually is inside of all of us, men and women. It's the life force. For instance, Kali, who is like mother of the universe, is the universal mother in charge of everything in the universe. All the active, dynamic, creative movements is the goddess. Whereas Shiva is a male principle, is just pure consciousness. And the two have to marry in order for a human being to become integrated. So both energies are necessary, but both exist in each human being, whether you're male or female. So from a spiritual perspective, the goddess is that innate life force that fuels the consciousness within the human being.
Because Shiva is consciousness.
That's right.
And the goddess is what helps manifest on earth.
Right. All the cycles, time, the seasons, all the cycles within us are reflected in the universe and back. It's like this microcosm and macrocosm of dynamic movement and life, from birth to growth to maintenance to decay to death, and those cycles repeat throughout life within us and without. And the goddess, that aspect of life force is the goddess. She's the Shakti, the divine Shakti within everything and within all of us. And that unity of consciousness of male and female, that integration, is our divine potential that we're striving for. And I agree with Anna, in this day and age, as women are coming into their power, we need to have that figurehead of the goddess to identify with, say, yes, that energy is within me. I can be creative now. I'm no longer suppressed by society in any way. I'm coming out now. Now is my time to bloom.
And coming out from in a female way. Because before women got empowered, but they got empowered in a male way, having a male god and in the patriarchal system. And that's not our real true power. I think it's very important now to count on a female power coming from the goddess and be empowered in that way. It's a whole other way of empowerment.
Because actually, the god, the masculine principle, is that which is the idea. And to have the power to create, that's a feminine thing.
Yes.
And I think part of what has set us into a destructive course in our culture is that with the male principle in charge, it's cut off from the power, which is the feminine principle to create.
Exactly.
The feminine principle to manifest. So men, not just men, but patriarchal idea has to overcompensate by power trips and owning things and controlling things, because true power is the power of creation, whereas in our society we measure power by the power of destruction. And it's an imbalance within each of us, which is where we can take these mythological characters and internalize them and realize that's within us. If it helps us to use a mythological goddess like Kali or a mythological god like Shiva, great, that can help us personalize it, but the essence, the energies are what we need to work in balance within us.
Definitely. And also the goddess represents that nurturing, loving energy and that oneness that the patriarchal system has become so removed from in this day and age. and that we need to bring that energy back into this world now, perpetuate that caring, that feeling of we are all one, and we need to take care of each other as a world view rather than this is my country, that's your country, and I'm going to conquer you because I need your oil or whatever. Now it's all about bringing the earth people together to save this planet and also to become integrated on a spiritual level and raise the energy up to where it wants to go, because I'm feeling that within myself, and I know a lot of people around are feeling that need to take ourselves to another level out of that old archaic system, of separation into this universal oneness that we are, and we're there. So many people out there are feeling it. It's so obvious and it's beautiful, and we just have to take that energy and go with it. In whatever way it manifests in each one of us, we have to trust that and go with it.
And it's not a fight between the male god and the female god. It's not that we want a goddess instead of God.
God, no.
We want both.
No.
You need to destroy in order to create. So it's not like a replacement of God with the goddesses. It's like beside God, let's also put goddess in her place.
Which means that they would get together and make love, court one another, and marry. It's the marriage of the masculine and the feminine. And that's so much of what we say in Venus and her lover, is that the courtship is fun, it's delicious, it's wonderful, and the marriage is so productive because the masculine and the feminine within each of us helps us be balanced with the ideas, the masculine, and the manifestation, which is the feminine.
And also to point out that the masculine and feminine can manifest independently of our gender. You're not talking about men marrying women. This marriage of the masculine and feminine can happen in me, or it can happen me with another human being, independent of gender.
Right.
That's
It's
right.
really the hieros gamos, which is the sacred marriage of the masculine and the feminine. And that happens within our hearts. It's actually in the heart chakra.
And in yoga, that's what union means. It's the union, the integration of the masculine and the feminine. The integration, the integrated wholeness that occurs when Shakti, feminine, and Shiva actually meet and become a union.
A union.
Yeah, a union. Because yoga means union. And that happens through actually the ascension process of coming into awareness of who we really are. And I think a lot of suffering in the world today is because we identify with that false identity, and we think, well, I'm not perfect, I've got these problems, and people think this about me. When in actuality, when you remove all that debris, what's there is spirit. What's there is divine spirit. And we all have that. And we can all access the power of the divine spirit of the whole when we get out of that small-minded ego mentality and embrace the fact that we are limitless when we are one. When we are part of that oneness, we're no longer separated, we're no longer weak, we're no longer the victims. We're all in this together, and we all have the power to access that creative Shakti goddess energy is available to everybody as soon as we get out of the ego and recognize that we're spirit and we're all one.
And I think we're living in a time when more and more people are saying, yes, that's who I am. I am a marriage of those two. And when we do that, we become so fully empowered. And that's why I have hope in these times. Because self-realized people, fully empowered, we can set things right. Yay. Yeah.
To the divine light in everyone.
Indeed.
We'll feel peace on earth, blessings from the moon, love all in the middle of a golden afternoon. Love is coming through. Peace on earth, blessings from the moon, love all in the middle of a golden afternoon. Love is coming through. Love is coming through. Love is coming, love is coming, love.